Episode 1: Seeds for Earth. Space is silent, yet within its vast darkness, something always stirs life. Life follows no predefined path. It spreads, adapts, searching for any opportunity. Every crack in time and space. When one world falls, life finds a new way forward. When one species dies, another prepares to take its place. The vastness outside the facility served as a humbling reminder. Even the most powerful civilizations are but whispers against the cosmic wind. The stars blinked, indifferent, reminding her of humanity's fragility. 65 million years ago, on a planet teeming with life, catastrophe struck without warning. The dinosaurs, undisputed rulers of Earth, roamed the continents with confidence forged in millions of years. Their dominance had no equal until the sky betrayed them. A small rock, insignificant in the grand scale of the cosmos, approached relentlessly. An asteroid, a silent harbinger, streaked through the heavens bright, beautiful, and deadly. Within moments, it would end an era standard text. The impact was cataclysmic. Fire ripped across the sky. Ash choked the sun. Oceans boiled, forests burned, and the world turned cold. The great beasts that once ruled fell silent. Yet, in the shadows and the soil, something smaller endured. Tiny mammals, long overlooked, found safety in the cracks. Life, unyielding and humble, survived. Even as giants vanished, the earth was already resetting. A transformation began, not loud or sudden, but patient and persistent. From the ashes, new life emerged, more adaptively, more cunning, ready to inherit the future. Humanity was still a dream, but the blueprint resilience evolution had already taken root. Life would rise again, reshaped by time, driven by the same instinct that had always carried it forward. In silence, beneath a darkened sky, the seeds of the future waited. Chapter 1: The Edge of Creation. A storm was brewing. The rain struck harder than usual, each drop sharp against her skin, like nature itself, warning her back. Youlieh pulled her coat tighter, rushing through puddles toward the entrance of EvoSphere Labs. Inside, the air was sterile and still, an engineered stillness that always unsettled her. Her body ached, too many 14-hour days. Her shoulders throbbed from hours hunched at her terminal. Even the light hurt. Once, this work had thrilled her. Now, it drained her. Youlieh was a rising star in genetic therapy, brilliant, committed, and young. Too young, some whispered, but no one could argue with her results. Still, the more she saw behind the curtain, the less she was sure she believed in it. She wasn't solving life's mysteries anymore. She was part of a machine, designing futures she wasn't sure she wanted to see. A retinal scan greeted her at the door. The glass slid open without a sound. She stepped into her lab, where the machines lit up automatically. The silence was absolute. Her hand hovered over the console before making contact, cold, familiar. The screen blinked awake. Data streamed across at her embryo line. Something was off, a slight deviation in cognitive response. Subtle, easy to miss, but not for her. She flagged the file for review, then buried herself in diagnostics. Hours passed. She barely noticed. Later, at the cafe, Hangwan waved her over. His smile always disarmed her. "How's the gene wizardry?" he asked, sipping something neon green. Quietly terrifying, she replied. He laughed. "That bad? I found something today," she said. "Small, but it's not in the specs. Could be a blip, maybe, but it didn't feel random." He leaned forward. "You think someone tampered with the genome?" She didn't answer. Not aloud. That night, her inbox pinged. No subject. No sender. One sentence. "Do not go down this path." She stared at it. Cold crept up her spine. Was someone watching? She closed the laptop slowly. The rain had stopped. And outside, the stars blinked on, silent, distant, and watching. Chapter 2: The Offer. The morning came too quickly. Youlieh rushed through her apartment, skipping her usual rituals and ignoring the untouched breakfast on the counter. Her nerves were frayed, but her focus was sharp. Today's meeting at EvoSphere wasn't just important, it felt final. As she stepped into the reception area on Mr. Gerthy's floor, she was struck by how sterile everything seemed. The space was almost too clean, too precise, like warmth had been deliberately erased. The receptionist offered her a polite, practiced smile. "I'm sorry Mr. Gerthy isn't available at the moment," he said flatly. "I need to see him," she replied, her voice sharper than intended. A tension had settled in her chest, a quiet urgency she didn't yet understand. Before he could respond, Mr. Gerthy's voice rang out from behind the frosted glass. "Come in, Youlieh," she flushed, offering a sheepish nod to the receptionist before stepping inside. The office felt colder than usual. Mr. Gerthy didn't waste time with pleasantries. He motioned for her to sit, his calm exterior replaced with a heavy stillness. There was something different in his eyes, detached, focused, as if he had already made a difficult decision. "Youlieh," he began, "there's something I need you for. But it means shutting down your project, effective immediately." The words struck like a blow. Shutting it down, her throat tightened. She had imagined this moment in nightmares, but hearing it out loud was something else entirely. "It's not a full termination," he continued. "The project is being discontinued at EvoSphere. The patent has been sold. I can't disclose the buyer." Sold? Her mind reeled. To who? Why? Before she could respond, he slid a folder across the desk. "Read this carefully." Expecting a dense legal contract, she was surprised to find it was just one page. Her heart pounded as she read. "I, Youlieh Osaru, agree to full confidentiality under the National Federation. Under no circumstances shall I share or disclose the work I am about to undertake. In the event of a breach, the NF reserves the right to enact final measures, including forfeiture of all my assets to the NF." Her hands trembled. She looked up at him, stunned. "You don't have to do this," he said quietly. "But if you want to continue your work, this is the only way." Her voice was barely a whisper. "Will I even be allowed to continue?" He hesitated just long enough to make the silence feel like an answer. She stared down at the paper, the weight of her entire life pressing on her shoulders. Years of research, sacrifice, meaning. She glanced out the window. A bird passed by, wings outstretched against the pale morning light. Before she could stop herself, she picked up the pen and signed. As the ink dried, her fingers let go of the pen. A single thought remained. What have I done? Chapter 3: The Departure. Mr. Gerthy seemed satisfied she had signed, but beneath his calm exterior lurked concern. He was about to place a burden on Youlieh that could never be undone. "Youlieh, collect your things. Head to the parking lot. Do not speak to anyone. Act normal." She blinked. "Act normal. A driver is waiting. He knows you. Just trust me. You will understand soon. I am coming with you." She walked back through the pristine hallways of EvoSphere, her mind racing. She could not call Hangwan, could not tell anyone. The coldness of secrecy had already begun to seep into her bones. Colleagues greeted her cheerfully on her floor. It felt surreal. New office already. One joked, "Just reorganizing," she lied, forcing a smile. She packed quickly. No goodbyes. Just a quiet exit into a life she no longer recognized. In the parking lot, a man in a crisp white uniform stood beside a sleek black car. He opened the trunk without a word and loaded her bag. Inside the car, Mr. Gerthy waited. "Get in," he said softly. As they pulled away from EvoSphere, she glanced back once. The building shrank behind them, cold and unreachable. Was this freedom or surrender? The streets gave way to countryside. Soon, the city disappeared entirely. "I am activating the blackout windows now," Mr. Gerthy said. Darkness slid across the glass. She stared into it, feeling like she had crossed some invisible threshold. "Youlieh," he said quietly, "I am the one who bought your project." Shock flickered through her. Her mind jumped to the anonymous message from the night before. Was that him? We need your help, he continued. The work must continue, but in secret. No one can know what we are building. She swallowed. What are we building? You passed the test. You are joining the Seed Project. The what? She echoed. You showed no ego. That is why you are perfect. She was not sure whether to be honored or terrified. You gave up your freedom for knowledge, he added. Few would. They drove in silence until the car slowed. Outside, a dense forest greeted them, fresh, damp, alive. Guards in National Federation uniforms flanked a hidden entrance. A hum filled the air. The ground opened. A cylindrical elevator rose from below. Come, Mr. Girthy said. It is just an elevator. She stepped in after him. My father launched a fleet of Nana's satellites 85 years ago, he explained as they descended. Solar sail technology. They scattered across space, creating a relay chain to send back data. Standard XQ built a deep space probe network. In secret. He nodded. It reached the nearest star system 13 years ago. And now, we are receiving data, environmental signatures, temperature patterns, organic compounds. Signs of life? She asked. He smiled faintly. Every day, the picture becomes clearer. She shook her head. Why me? I am not an engineer. I am not a physicist. We do not need those, he said. We need someone who understands life and what to do with it. They stepped off the elevator into a wide corridor lit by soft biolights. EvoSphere was never the destination, he said. It was a filter to find someone who could lead this. You want me to create life? She asked. He looked at her, guided. And EvoSphere, you are just erasing it. He nodded. Its mission is complete. The next phase begins here. Chapter 4, The Seed Project. They stopped outside a door with Youlieh's name on it. This is your room now, Mr. Girthy said. We have brought everything from your old apartment. Arrange it however you like. My things, she echoed, confused. The retina scanner clicked. The door slid open, revealing a space far larger and more luxurious than she expected. It felt surreal, designed for comfort, yet somehow clinical. You must be exhausted, Mr. Girthy added. Rest. I will return in a few hours. If you need anything, call XGO. His number is on your phone, on the table. It has been configured. And of course, no contact with the outside. She nodded, though the illusion of freedom felt thinner by the second. The apartment was stunning. Elegant lines, subtle lighting, even simulated windows, showing serene nature scenes. It was beautiful, and it made her feel completely alone. She collapsed onto the bed, the weight of the day finally dragging her under. In her dreams, Hangwan appeared, his face calm, familiar. She clung to that memory, even in sleep. Hours later, she woke groggy and wandered into the kitchen. A fully stocked fridge, meals, fruit, fresh vegetables. But her appetite had not caught up with her hunger. She opted for a shower instead. Warm water spilled over her shoulders like relief made liquid. For a moment, she felt human again. Then it faded. She sat in the armchair, phone in hand, debating whether to call Execo, when the doorbell rang. Mr. Girthy stood with a younger man, tall, striking. Did you manage to rest? Girthy asked. She nodded, unsure how to voice the mess of emotions churning inside her. I am Execo, the younger man said with a kind smile. Head of physics. We have gathered the leadership team, Girthy added. They are waiting to meet you. They led her to what Execo called the root elevator. The facility was built like a root system, Execo explained. Each floor branches off literally, hence the name, the roots. Girthy gave a faint smile, but said nothing. The elevator descended. At the lowest level, a large titanium table stood at the center of a wide circular chamber. Around it, the department heads of the Seed Project waited. As they approached, the group rose. Youlieh could feel their eyes on her, not judging, but expectant. She recognized them from profiles and research journals. Nadiel, a razor-sharp quantum physicist. Syra, calm and steady, with a background in astrochemistry. Corin, the engineer behind all transport and propulsion systems. Rylan, the youngest, yet already leading AI integration. And now her. Please, Gerthy said, take a seat. He looked around the table. Today marks the official beginning of the Seed Project. The room fell quiet. With your arrival, Youlieh, all departments are complete. We can finally begin. He leaned forward. This project was founded nearly a century ago by my father, with the National Federation's approval. He believed, as I do, that humanity must not remain tethered to Earth forever. He gestured to Nadiel, Corin, and Rylan. Explain. Nadiel activated a holographic projection. Equations filled the air, floating like constellations. Youlieh blinked. What am I looking at? Corin replied. Proof we will never build a spacecraft fast enough to reach even the closest star system. Gerthy nodded. Despite everything, moon bases, nanosails, fusion, we have hit a wall. And waiting for a breakthrough is not a strategy. It is a fantasy. So, what is the alternative? Youlieh asked. Seeding Exco said simply. Panspermia, she asked. Spreading life through asteroids. Exactly, Gerthy said. But not just life, human-coded life, custom organisms. You helped create them at EvoSphere. Now, we will use them. Wait, she interrupted, alarmed. You are sending engineered organisms to crash into another planet. Syra spoke softly for the first time. The planet has organic life, but no signs of intelligence. No cities, no signals, no tools. Youlieh was not convinced. And you are sure? Gerthy's gaze held hers. No, but we have waited long enough. If we wait for certainty, we doom ourselves. But if we are wrong, we are invaders, she said, her voice rising, not saviors. Nadiel answered. The planet is unstable. Atmospheric shifts. Volatile tectonics. There is no long-term path for evolution there without intervention. And the intervention is us. She whispered. Gerthy nodded solemnly. Through you, Rylan added. You are not just contributing. You are designing the seed. Its genetic trajectory. Its adaptability. Its memory. She hesitated. I am a biologist. Not a god. No, said Gerthy. But you are a gardener. She fell silent. Alongside the asteroid, Gerthy continued. We are sending a monitoring craft. It will arrive in 68,000 years. Our AI systems will observe the target planet for the next 200,000. And then, she asked. Then, he said quietly, we deploy the embryos, designed with high cognition, capable of building a civilization. She stared at him, heart pounding. This is humanity's second genesis, he said, and you, Youlieh, are its Eve. Chapter 5, New World. Youlieh heard the voices around her, but her mind had already drifted elsewhere. Rylan was speaking, his lips moved, words flowed, but none of it reached her. Are we playing God? She wondered. Why are we doing this in secret? Should not the rest of humanity have a say? Mr. Gerthy wrapped up the meeting and turned to her. Rylan will guide you over the next few weeks. He will give you the tour tomorrow, show you your workspaces. The rest of the team quietly filed into the elevator. Only Mr. Gerthy and Axiko stayed behind. The others left in silence, and the doors closed with a muted hiss. Stillness settled over the lift, amplifying the tension thrumming beneath her skin. I need air, she whispered, her voice barely above a breath. Rylan nodded gently. This place is completely isolated. No press, no civilians. Just us and Federation guards. The elevator climbed. Everyone else had exited on lower levels. Only she and Rylan remained. He looked at her, more serious now. I know how overwhelming this must feel, he said. The moral weight, the secrecy, the speed of it all. He hesitated before asking, do you think we are playing God, or just doing what is necessary to survive? Youlieh stared at the gleaming elevator panels. Life has a rhythm, a balance. Who are we to overwrite that? What if what we create is not life anymore, but something else entirely? The doors slid open. Soldiers at the entrance stepped aside. Rylan motioned for her to follow. "Come," he said with a small grin. "There is a place I go to clear my head." They stepped into the woods beyond the compound. The forest was dark, moonlight dripping between the trees like silver rain. They walked in silence, the rustle of leaves beneath their feet the only sound. Eventually Rylan stopped near a cluster of old stumps and sat. She joined him, her breath fogging in the cold air. He tilted his head skyward. "That is where we are going." She followed his gaze. Stars stretched above them, distant and cold. "Which one?" she asked. He pointed between two bright stars in a W-shaped constellation. "That one. Do you see it?" She squinted. "Barely. That is our destination. The system we are targeting." A cold awe settled in her chest. "What do we really know about it?" she asked. "It has planets," he said. "One in the habitable zone. Oceans, atmosphere, vegetation, primal, but promising." "And if we fail?" she asked. Rylan did not flinch. "We will not. The real question is, what will it cost to succeed?" She bit her lip. "If this takes thousands of years, why not just use Gerthy's method? Send the embryos directly. Skip the seeding." He gave a slight, pained smile. "To build something that lasts, you have to break the ground first. Then lay each layer with care." "You mean destroy what is already there?" His silence was louder than an answer. She turned to him slowly. "We cannot just land and build, can we? We have to wipe them out first." Rylan looked away. "It is not that simple." "Who are they?" she asked. After a long pause, he finally replied. "Primitive. No cities, no tech. But maybe self-aware." Her curiosity sharpened. "What do they look like?" He inhaled deeply. "Closest comparison we have is frogs." Youlieh blinked. "Frogs." The image flashed in her mind, amphibian creatures, wide-eyed, blinking under a foreign sky, strange, vulnerable, alive. Could they really erase that? The night air turned colder. And this time, she was not sure if it came from the wind or from within. Episode 1 is complete. To follow Youlieh's path, continue with Episode 2, Seeds for Earth.